everyone, and it is evening here in Evansville in Indiana, which is situated on the beautiful Ohio River. This morning we toured around ourselves, cobbled streets of all the post-Civil War mansions, and we went to the courthouse and sheriff and office and jails. Tomorrow we're heading to Georgetown, Kentucky, which is incorporated in 1784, so that will be really interesting. And yeah, hope you enjoy the ride tomorrow.
So this is the Ohio River. So the Ohio River is 981 miles long. Sorry about the sun there. Well, it's not that bad. So the Ohio River starts in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at the confluence of the Allegheny and the Monongahela rivers. Was lucky enough to experience that back in 2000 when I went over here for a few mine tours. Evansville itself is surrounded by underground coal mines. A lot of them closed late last century or even earlier last century, but there's still quite a few around. This river here is it's a commercial traffic way, so I think we've seen probably, what do you think, Michelle, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 in the few days we've been here, or the couple of days we've been here, 3, 4 or 5 coal barges that carry, like each day, that carry 22,500 ton each. So, and then going the other way, if they're not empty, they're carrying other products as well. But look, it's a beautiful river. It's swarming with catfish apparently, which Michelle ate one the other night, and it was quite nice. So I had a bit, yeah, pretty good. Anyway, off to Kentucky tomorrow, and that's Kentucky straight over there. The city of Evansville was founded in 1812 on a scenic bend on the Ohio River. With a population of nearly 121,000 people in the city limits and more than 300,000 people in the metropolitan area, Evansville is the third largest city in Indiana. It's also the social and economic hub for the region, which includes southwest Indiana, southeast Illinois, and northwest Kentucky.
During World War II, Evansville was a major centre of industrial production, and as a result, it helped wipe away the last lingering effects of the Depression. During the war, employment jumped from 21,000 to 64,000 in just a few months. People from around the tri-state area moved into the city to take advantage of the new employment opportunities.
A huge 45-acre shipyard complex was constructed on the riverfront for the production of ocean-going landing ship tanks. The USS LST 325 is a decommissioned ship, now home ported in Evansville as a memorial museum to LSTs and the city's war effort.
In 1942, the city acquired a factory adjacent to the airport north of the city for the manufacture of the P-47 Thunderbolt fighter aircraft. Evansville produced a total of 6,242 P-47s, almost half of the P-47s made during the war.
No, mate, no, just had to take my phone off.
Oh, I was gonna say, I live down the road if y'all want to get out of the rain.
No, we're all good, mate.
Alright.
Thank you.
Kentucky, the bluegrass state, is a great state for offering motorcycle riders multiple scenic environments from which to explore. The bluegrass area with its thoroughbred horse farms, abundant caves and cavern regions, the Kentucky Appalachian Mountains, the northern Kentucky River region, and the southern and western waterland regions. Kentucky is also the home of the world-famous Kentucky Derby and historical sites related to the home of Lincoln, Daniel Boone, the American Civil War, as well as key historical points on the Underground Railroad and the Trail of Tears. The heart of Frankfurt, established in 1786, sits in the Kentucky River Valley on an S-bend in the river near the western edge of the inner bluegrass region of the state.
Frankfort is the capital of the US state of Kentucky and the seat of Franklin County.
Before Frankfurt was founded, the site was a ford across the Kentucky River along one of the great buffalo trails used as highways in colonial America. English explorers first visited the area in the 1750s.
The Kentucky River flows through the city, making a turn as it passes through the centre of town. Because of the city's location on the Kentucky River, it has flooded many times, with the two highest recorded floods occurring in 1937 and 1978. 5 bridges cross the river in downtown Frankfurt. Notable locations include the Kentucky State Capitol Building, the Capital City Museum, and Fort Hill, a promontory with a view of downtown.
During the American Civil War, the Union Army built fortifications overlooking Frankfurt on what is now called Fort Hill. The Confederate Army also occupied Frankfurt for a short time, starting on the 3rd of September 1862, the only such time that Confederate forces took control of a Union capital. Dear to my heart, Frankfurt is home to 3 distilleries, including the Castle and Key Distillery, the Three Boys Farm Distillery, which produces bourbon and whiskey, and the famous Buffalo Trace Kentucky Bourbon Distillery. Welcome to Georgetown, the birthplace of bourbon. It was here in 1789 that Elijah Craig first used charred oak barrels in the bourbon aging process, leading to the discovery of America's only native spirit, and Craig taking his place as the granddaddy of all bourbon distillers.
Georgetown, Kentucky, with a population of 18,000, is 10 miles north of Lexington, the horse capital of the world. Noted for its profusion of historic houses and fine antique shopping, Georgetown is built around a large spring that still serves as its primary water source.
Georgetown's back roads offer horse farms, Irish fieldstone fences, the meandering Elkhorn and Eagle Creeks, and rolling fields of tobacco and cattle. Native peoples have lived, hunted and fished along the banks of Elkhorn Creek for at least 15,000 years.
Throughout the 20th century, Georgetown has been in transition from an economy based primarily on agriculture to one mixing manufacturing, small business and the family farm. The selection of Georgetown as the site of Toyota Motor Manufacturing, Kentucky in 1985 has resulted in the greatest period of growth in the city's history, employing over 10,000 people.
Concert, Georgetown, Kentucky. Nader Tunnel is a historic 900-foot long tunnel which is formerly a railway tunnel. The tunnel has often been described as the gateway to the Red River Gorge, for the shortcut it provides motorists to the River Gorge canyons of the Daniel Boone National Forest. Built for the Dana Lumber Company between 1910 and 1911, Nader Tunnel was named after Nader, Kentucky, then a logging town about 10 miles past the tunnel's entrance. Solid sandstone was blasted with dynamite and dug out with steam machinery and hand tools, with two teams working from each side of the ridge.
We are currently in the Red River Gorge in Kentucky in the Appalachians. This is the beautiful Skybridge. We've been all through here, through the gorge. It's been stunning, the tunnels and everything, just beautiful. This bridge was formed over 10,000 years to the natural environment. It's just stunning. You can't grasp how huge it is until you're standing here. It's truly beautiful.
Evansville, Kentucky. Call this place the gateway to the mountains. Beautiful little place. In East Kentucky are absolutely awesome. The condition of them is fantastic. Probably some of the best I've seen. Very historic area in Eastern Kentucky. There was a lot of Civil War action here. There's a lot of memorials on the side of the road. We just stopped along the Battle of Middle Creek where Confederate Union forces clashed in 1862. The Confederate forces were up on a ridge and the Union forces were down the bottom. The Confederate forces advanced down the ridge towards the flat where the Union forces were. It was 1,900 men that took part in that battle. The Union fought the Confederates back up the ridge, which is actually a hard task to do. And that was a turning point for East Kentucky because up until that time, Kentucky was undecided whether it was part of the Union or part of the Confederacy. So that battle was an outcome, a major outcome for the Union, or the United States. So we're on our way to Pikeville. We're about 16 miles out. We're going to be visiting a museum there. It's got some great displays on the American Civil War and coal mining and the Hatfield and the Corey field. So that should be really good to see. This Pikeville is a coal mining town. It supports a huge area of southwestern Virginia, and southeastern Kentucky. So it's a major hub for that area. So there's about 8,000, a bit under 8,000 people within the city limits, and it's got, I think it's about an elevation of 800 feet, but it does see significant snowfall due to its proximity of the Appalachian mountain ranges, which we're travelling through now. You'll see in some of the cuttings on the side of the road or the excavations that we travel through see coal seams. There's just coal in abundance down here. What I've seen so far, they're probably an average of maybe 1.5 to 2 feet. And virtually that's not mineable from any underground methods. There's a coal seam there. So this is Coal Run Village. There's a number of mines around this area. I think when I looked on Google Maps. There were about a dozen underground operations still producing coal.
Pikeville, with a population of 7,000 and with a total county population in excess of 60,000, was founded in 1824 as the seat of Pike County and became the trading centre for area farmers. During the Civil War, the community was occupied by the Union Army and was a centre of federal operations in eastern Kentucky.
The city is in the Appalachian Mountains, along the Levice Fork of the Big Sandy River. The downtown area is built in a narrow valley in a bend of the Levice Fork that was bypassed in 1987 with the completion of the Pikeville cut-through to alleviate traffic through the town centre and also re-divert the river to mitigate flooding.
I know that my time ain't long.
Following the American Civil War, the community grew in size and prosperity, with a great increase in commerce following arrival of the railroad in 1905. The railroad made it profitable to mine Pike County's coal, and Pikeville became a coal shipping and distribution centre. Coal still plays a major part of the Pikeville economy, however most mines are now outside of the city limits.
Pikeville was also a location for the infamous Hatfield-McCoy family feud and is in close proximity to other feud sites in West Virginia. More than a dozen were killed from both sides and 9 Hatfields imprisoned. Randall McCoy, the McCoy family patriarch, is buried on a hillside overlooking Pikeville.
We spent the afternoon visiting the Pikeville cut-through and exploring the city before settling in for a delicious dinner at the Dueling Barrels Brewery.
This is the Pikeville cut-through, it's called, in Kentucky. It's the single largest engineering project in the US and second only to the Panama Canal in the world. So it was started in 1973, I think it finished in 87. So it diverted this river down here away from the town of Pikeville, and that's it over there, and it prevented flooding. It also moved this 4-lane highway, so it used to be only 2-lane through Pikeville itself. And 4 lanes decongested the traffic situation significantly. So that's a hotel just down there, just beyond the trucks moving. This is a beautiful area. The other thing, I suppose, it's of interest, if you look closely down here, you can see some weathered coal seams. Also, in this cut through, you can see some coal seams. There's coal everywhere here. Yeah, beautiful area of the Appalachia Mountains.
Join the Silver.gypsies on our next episode as we explore the historic Pikeville Cemetery before taking a scenic ride into West Virginia to visit Black Sheep Harley-Davidson in Huntington.